So, welcome. This is Shanika. Let me just say that I'm sorry for being late. My daughter's out of school today, so hey, mommy duty. But anyways, today's topic: what do these letters right here, Tinsle, what do they have to do with your marriage, or what do they have to do with your relationship? Well, I will tell you. When you put these letters together, they spell two words: listen and silent. Listen and silent. So when we talk about communication, this is very important in a relationship, in a marriage. For a healthy relationship, you have to listen, and in order to do that, you have to be silent. So the first thing that I have a few points, I always have my notes, but I wanted to make sure I wrote them down, is listen without interrupting. Okay? If you're thinking about what you want to say while the other person is talking, you're not listening. In fact, you're just thinking about your rebuttal, or thinking about how are you going to say it, when you're going to say it, and you're not really taking into consideration and honoring what the person is saying. Even though you may not like the content, you still have to listen. Okay? So if you're thinking about what you want to say while the other person is talking, you're not listening. And think about it. You want your spouse to listen to you. You really don't want to open up and you're sharing what you're feeling, or you're sharing what the situation is for you and how you perceive it, and they're not listening to you, because you will not feel like what you're saying is important to them. And we want to make sure that both of you are heard. Okay? So make sure that you listen without interrupting. And also remember that you're not thinking about what you want to say while they're talking, okay? I want you to also, number two, I want you to handle each other's spirit as gently as possible. And what do I mean by that? Because once you say what you have to say, and especially if you say it in anger, you cannot take it back. Once you just flip off, it's like a light switch on and off. Once you just say it, if you have an unbridled tongue, it hurts. Oh my goodness, it hurts. And you cannot, and you probably mean every word that you say, but let me tell you, you cannot take it back. So really remember that you want to handle your spouse's feelings, their spirit, like the core of them, as gently as possible. I don't want to say anything that's going to break my husband's spirit. I don't want to say anything that's going to tear him down. So we have to find another way, respectful and appropriate way, to honor the relationship, honor the marriage, honor the covenant, and honor the conversation without tearing each other apart. Number 4, our tone of voice. And the higher someone's voice go, the higher the other person's voice goes, because you feel like I have to get my point across. And with men, they shut down. When we're like this and we're talking loud and we're all in their face, they shut down. They're like a turtle. They're going to either not talk to you, not look at you, get their keys and leave the house, go to another room. They don't want to hear it. And once again, you have to realize that, am I honoring the relationship? And am I honoring the marriage? Am I honoring the covenant? And am I honoring the conversation? Because you don't want to do anything that shows your spouse that I really don't care what you say. I really don't care what you think. Because that type of attitude, that type of behavior says, I don't care about you. Okay? So just remember that. Number 5. This is hard for people to do. Number 5. I always tell my clients to connect to the feeling, not the content. Or listen to the feeling. Because your spouse may be telling you that, well, you said you were going to come home at this time and you did X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. You're listening to the content. You're listening to all of that. And that makes you just want to respond with the answer, with the rebuttal. You're trying to explain yourself. No. Connect to the feeling, because there's a feeling behind all of that. The feeling could be she's frustrated. The feeling could be that he feels annoyed. The feeling could be betrayal. Connect to the feeling and respond to the feeling, because if you respond to the content, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you respond to the feeling, it sounds like you feel betrayed by what I've done. It sounds like you feel irritated by me not showing up in when I was supposed to. So if you respond to the feeling, you get farther along, because your partner will feel validated. Okay? Immediately they will feel like, you got me. Yeah, that's how I feel. You have that connection instantly. And the content won't matter, because when you have that connection intimately and emotionally on an instant level, because of your feelings, you're able to work through the issues, because that person feels like, you got me. Yeah, you understand how I'm feeling. Because that's what frustrates us, is when we don't understand how a person feels. Number 6, thank you for the hearts. Respond to, when you respond, use iMessages. And what I mean by that is, like, we say, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. And what you need to do is X, Y, and Z. You always make me feel like this, and you're always this. Woo! Yous are like this. You're just shooting them. Arrows, gunshots. You're just wounding and traumatizing and just breaking them down. I feel like this. I saw this. I heard you say this. iMessages points the finger back to you. And like I say, well, you know what? The way I hear it is, or the way I understand it is X, Y, and Z. That way I'm putting it back here on me, so that my spouse can respond and confirm, well, no, I didn't say it like that, or well, yeah, it's sort of like that. You need to stay away from those yous, because the yous are blaming, is pointing the finger, and is saying that you're the problem and I'm not. Okay? You're the bad one and I'm the good one, or I'm the victim and whatever. And you're doing this to me. Use those iMessages, okay? I feel, I see, I heard, I think. Keep it right here, okay? So number 7, temper equals timeout. If you cannot talk, if you cannot listen and be silent, remember these words, these letters, if you cannot listen and be silent because you have a temper, time out. Don't talk to me. Don't come to me trying to talk to me about anything. If you have an attitude, if you are angry and upset, you need to deal with that and calm down. You are not being fair to your spouse if you show up in a conversation with attitude. You're not being fair to your marriage if you show up and you're angry. Especially when your spouse is like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Something is wrong with you. You already know something is wrong with you. So you have to figure out a way to identify where that anger is coming from. I'm mad because you lied. I'm mad because I can't depend on you. Whatever the issue is, you connect to that feeling of why you're frustrated before you step to your spouse. Because if you step and you're angry and you have a temper, it's going to blow up. You're going to end up World War III. You're going to have an argument and it's just going to explode. All right? It's going to get nasty. Temper equals time out. Deal with your stuff first before you step to your spouse. Okay? Now, what's the last one? Oh, number 8. Think, then respond. Okay? I tell my kids, stop, think, then talk to me. You have to think before you respond. Remember what I said earlier? You can't take it back. You can't take it back. So these letters, if you put them all together, it spells listen and silent. Listen and silent. These are just some starter communication tips. But let me tell you, when you start to listen to your spouse, you're observing them, right? You're listening to what truly hurts them, what truly is important to them. And hopefully, if they're reciprocating, they're doing the same thing. All right, and even observing their behavior when they come home, when your spouse comes home and they're tired, that's not the right time for you to start jumping on the bandwagon, arguing about what's bothering you and what they did. That's the wrong time to do that. So also think about the appropriate time to have your discussions. All right, make sure that it's in a safe place. Don't do it in front of the kids. Don't do it in front of other people. That's not the appropriate time to do that. Silent and listen. These letters, when you put them together, spell silent and listen, and they are very, very important, and they can help save your marriage. Just doing these two can help save your marriage, because listening, you don't always have to have the last word. You don't have to have the last word. Okay? There are no winners in your marriage. You both are on a team. The two shall become one. Okay? Hey, thank you for the hearts, and for those who joined, thank you. I'll be back here on next Friday for more marriage stuff, and I'll be back on Wednesday as well at 12. Again, and so you can always go to my website, therapygirl.net, and sign up for more tips, or you can go to Bliss Marriage Conference and sign up on the newsletter there and get more tips. But either way, you'll still get me, and I'll still get connected to you. So thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you again, okay? Guys, thank you for the hearts. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. All right? Don't forget, listen, silent. All right?